for the last time this season. Going to go over the scores. The Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22 to capture their second ever Lombardi Trophy, their second ever Super Bowl title. It was not close from the word go. In fact, it got to 34-0 at one point. No one was really loving it. The biggest thing in this game to me is, of course, the time of possession, 36 minutes, 58 seconds to 23 minutes and 2 seconds for the Chiefs. So going into the preview for this game, I was like, there's a world where, of course, the Eagles win this game, even though I think the Chiefs are going to. And if they're going to do it, they're going to have to control the ball and eat up time. And they did. And then their defense got pressure on Patrick Mahomes and made his life hell in a way reminiscent of the New York Giants games against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, where they were able to get pressure without having to rush any extra people, and they were able to cover everybody and just make Patrick Mahomes look incredibly uncomfortable all night. If you watch the game, you saw that. And then something I didn't anticipate happening, I thought, like, okay, even with all of that, Patrick Mahomes is very good. He's going to still get it done. And boy, was I wrong. Patrick Mahomes played maybe the worst game I've ever seen him play. I've watched a lot of games. The Chiefs have been in a lot of primetime matchups, Super Bowls, playoffs over the last 4 or 5 years. And I feel like I know Patrick Mahomes pretty well as a player, and he looked shook from beginning to end and very un-Patrick Mahomes-like. For his part, he had 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, but you have to understand, those stats are like garbage time stats. He also led the way rushing with 25 yards. Xavier Worthy in garbage time, but a really good game, 8 receptions, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 4 receptions, 39 yards, and DeAndre Hopkins, 2 receptions, 18 yards, and 1 touchdown. As for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, who would go on to be Super Bowl MVP, 17 of 22, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. He also had 72 yards on the ground on 11 carries and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 25 rushes, 57 yards, 2.3 average, no touchdowns. But he was, very obviously the focus of the Chiefs' game plan. And he played like decently given that. I mean, he added 6 receptions for 40 yards as well. And he was, really good at grinding it out, keeping the ball moving, giving opportunities for Jalen Hurts to make plays, as a pass blocker, as a receiver coming out of the backfield. So a lot of people are like, oh, he had a horrible game. Not as good as he did in the previous games, but I do think he was instrumental to the Eagles getting this win. Devonta Smith, 4 receptions, 69 yards, a touchdown. A.J. Brown, 3 receptions, 43 yards, and 1 touchdown. So it was a very interesting game in the sense that I certainly didn't expect it to be a blowout, and I didn't expect Mahomes to play as poorly as he did. I don't think really anybody thought he would play as poorly as he did, but he looked, as I said already, he looked so out of sorts. And really, that interception that Cooper DeJean got on his birthday, his first career interception in the Super Bowl, he runs it back for a touchdown, and it's 17-0. And just the way, like, the game was going, like 17-0, not insurmountable, obviously, but also not super likely to come back from. And the way that game was going, it really didn't feel like there was any chance for Kansas City to come back. And like, we went into halftime and they came out and they still looked out of sorts. And it was like, okay, this isn't the Chiefs team we've seen the last few years. It is more in line with the Chiefs team that we've seen this year. I mean, look, they scored 22 points. They had trouble getting over 30 points this whole season. What the big difference here, Chris Jones goes down, and that defense looked a lot different after that. and Lee allowed 40 points, I guess really 33 points. And Mahomes didn't put him in any good positions with any of his interceptions. But yeah, it's just like this team all season. I think we watched it and we felt like maybe I'm just a hater, but I felt like this Kansas City team isn't as good as they were. And then they got into the playoffs and they, you know, beat the Texans, who I thought were a good team. And then the beat the Bills, who I really thought were a good team. And I was like, maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe they are better than I thought. Maybe every other team just giving them like these intense, haymaker matchups. But the fact that it ended like this in retrospect now, it's like, okay, well, maybe I was right. Maybe a lot of us were right. Maybe the Chiefs weren't as good as their 15-2 record would indicate. But, hindsight's 2020, as they say. So at the end of the day, huge win for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, congratulations. Always a quarterback I've liked and I've wanted to succeed. And yeah, maybe he's not the most talented thrower. Maybe he's not the best quarterback in the league. But you know what? He's a Super Bowl champion. And so at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. I say with my fandom with the Dolphins with Tua, like, okay, maybe he is limited, but when he plays and he's not hurt, he wins games. That's all that really matters. And that's Jalen Hurts to an even bigger degree. So congrats to the Eagles. Amazing game plan. All the Eagles fans, let me know your thoughts. Like, how excited are you today to have this team be Super Bowl champions once again, to probably be in a good position to continue to do well? And more than that, just like proof that this organization is just really, really good. I mean, since 2000, this was their fourth Super Bowl. They've been to so many NFC championship games, so much success with different coaches, different players. But the organization itself it's been on a really great 25-year run. So if you're a Chiefs fan, let me know your thoughts about all of this. I can't imagine you're too excited given how everything went, but still would love to talk. I mean, I'm sure you can wipe your tears with your championship gear from the previous few years. Like, yeah, it sucks, but like, you'll be all right. I assume you'll be all right. So yeah, let me know in the comments.